guys. I'm working on my Book of Shadows, and I have had quite a few requests for you all to see a little more in depth of my Book of Shadows. On my intro video, I did show you a little bit of it, and you know, a witch's Book of Shadow is very private, but there are some things that I can show you. Basics, okay? So this is mine, and I can talk about how it was constructed. I think that's very important. Basically started with two binder covers, just a regular school binder, okay? And that's the top and the bottom. Dismantled that and covered it in a fabric that looks like old leather, okay? The spine is a piece of plastic that was molded to curve, basically by scoring it so that it would bend, okay? And then drill holes in with leather cord to fasten. And the reason for that is it can expand. So it can grow as I grow, as my knowledge grows, as my spell base grows. I can add pages or remove them as I see fit. On the outside, I've got decorations. I'm trying to be very careful because I've got something loose here that seems to be falling off, and when I went to dust it, that's what happened. So I've got let me see if I can bring that a little closer. Basically plastic hinges just from a hobby store to put on, and a little lock for a key, and then the little metal corners. Oh, I'm losing stuff out of here. It's very fluid. So there's always spells or information that have been cast, and I just kind of throw them inside to be put in later, to be glued in later. So I've got some glue here and scissors and pens and all that to work on it. Now, as I was dusting, this is what is coming off. So that I don't lose it, I'm just going to lift that up, and then I'll glue it back down again after we talk. It's a metal piece, and then it's a little picture of Bridget. Because I like the Celtic traditions, I thought that was very fitting. And like I said, I was dusting it. This Book of Shadows is quite old, and the glue where I had attached the stamp was coming off. So I was attempting to glue that back on, and then thought I needed to show it to you. So I've also got, if I can get it out of here, I forgot where it's at. It's a long strip of cord with the key that goes to the lock. And of course it doesn't actually lock, it's just symbolic, but it's very pretty. And it acts as a bookmark that kind of lays through and hangs the other side. Okay, now, my inside here, again, trying to show this on camera. Okay, I just got some pretty craft paper at the hobby store to put as the inside, and then of course printed out my title page, my Book of Shadows. And then I just added paper through, cinched it up, and there's some metal buttons here. Let me hold it up so you can see a little closer. Buttons, just to hold that in there a bit better, okay? So that's the basic construction. And like I said, just take your fabric and fold it over and glue it down for all your bits and pieces. There's some metal strips here. Actual, not metal, plastic strips here that I covered also in that fabric to hold down the pages on this section. And then I just do sections. And what I did is I divided it up. So I'll have information, spells, all in separate areas. And if you look on my Grimoire of the Modern Witch Facebook page, the album section is the library. So this is all for your use. You will find title pages, blank pages for writing your spells that are just very, very beautiful. And you'll find section title pages as well, section dividers. So you'll see some stuff that's the moon salutation for yoga. There's information on clearing and releasing the chakras, and there's the Wiccan Reed, the Wheel of the Year, the Charge of the Crone. And I'm not showing you up real close because, again, it's all private and personal to me. But a lot of this stuff you'll find on the Grimm page, the Facebook page. And feel free to print those out, just like I've done, and glue them into your book. And then, of course, I've got sections that are actual spells that I've written and put in. So there's just information. This is, you can't see very well, but there's a dictionary of dream symbols. There's candle colors, moon signs and their meanings, correspondences, zodiac signs, sigils, symbols, hex signs, and then something that I really like to do, Llewellyn has calendars. And after I've used the calendar, I like to cut the pictures out and put them in. And sometimes they'll have some really good information that I can cut off the little sections and then just put it in with some pretty paper. And so I've done that in a lot of places. This is another correspondence page. Candle shapes, candle magic timing. Again, these are things I printed out, and I can hold that up and show you a little closer there. So these are all things, you know, I spent years putting together the post in that library section and organizing them by section just for you. So feel free to take advantage of that. Print those out on your computer. Put them in your book. It's all really good information. I like to leave blank sections as well so that I can add things as I go along. So no section is complete. There will always be some blank pages in there so that when we write spells and cast those spells, they have a place to go without having to untie the book and add more pages. If I put my thick parchment paper pages in here, I can just glue these things to the page. So I've done a lot of that. You'll see lots of blank pages. There's a whole section here. Oops, stuff's falling out. Excuse me, a whole section here that's blank because I want to do a herb section. So that's all blank. And here is one of my title pages I was talking about of the Sabbats. And so all the information about those rituals or spells or whatever that I do will go in that section. So there's Imbolc, there's the Wheel of the Year, there's Austera, there's the Vernal Equinox Austera, there's Beltane, Lammas, Mabon, Samhain, Yule, and again, these are all things you'll find on that Facebook page. Then I've got again, more blank sections so that I can add things in as I choose. Okay. And it just goes on and on. Here's another whole blank section for adding. Then, excuse me, I'm talking so much that I'm losing my voice here. Here's a section on gods and goddesses. And then as I find information that I like, I put that in there. That's a section on Freya. There's Demeter, Hecate, Lakshmi, Morrigan, Hestia, Odin. You get the point. And lots of empty places. You'll see lots of pressed flowers through my book as well. Okay. Then we go into my specific spells. I've got chants. This is a whole section on chants. Then I've got potions. And then here starts my magic spells. And this whole section is all spells. And some of them are printed out on the computer, and you'll see pretty pictures in as well. And some of them are actual handwritten, okay? So I'll have a pretty picture and then my handwriting for the spell. And, you know, it's nice to do things on the computer, but once in a while you need that personal touch of your actual handwriting to be put in your book, so that kind of seals it and bonds it to you if it's got something a little more personal in it as your handwriting. So again, it should be fluid. You should have workings that you have done recently, and when you get a chance, just cut those out, put those in your book with a little bit of glue. I've got my scissors here and some pretty colored ink pens so that I can write. And that's what I'm going to be doing today, is sitting here at my desk with my its wobbly leg and I'm going to put these spells in the book. And I hope you've enjoyed this video, seeing a little glimpse of the actual grimoire to the Modern Witch. And tell us how you're doing yours and give us ideas for what you've got in yours. Have a good day, guys.